All right, here we go. A GSL Crevasse. Here we have our Red Terran player. He needs to get a win. He wants to get himself back in this series. He is
스타테일 보머.
That's right. It is Bomber. No mouse bungee for Bomber. Not the mouse bungee kind of guy.
Too hardcore.
That's right.
Doesn't need it, man.
And here's our blue Terran player. He parkoured his way all over the map last time. All the crowd bosses and Crossfire. He is that guy.
Indeed. And already getting off to an epic start with epic cross positions.
Yeah.
On Crevasse. Huge length means that there's going to probably be drops going the left side, the right side, all around the map.
Yep.
Big macro map. There is an expansion behind your main that has less mineral patches. It only has 6 mineral patches and 1 gas, but it's easy to take and
easy to hold.
Easy to hold because then you can still hold your main ramp and be just fine.
Yep.
And once again, MVP choosing to wall off whilst Bomber chooses not to.
Both players getting their barracks and their gas at normal times. The builds, as you can see from the production tab, about as mirrored can be. It's like they're just taking turns building things.
Yeah, it looks like
sharing control.
Looking at the production tab, it looks like they're.
Yep.
It's just the same player twice.
Comes in SCV.
Almost.
Now, I'm curious to see where we're going to go from here because in TVT you have so many different options. I was actually talking to Moltrap a little bit earlier about this today, that the other races, when you see kind of the first couple things a player does, you kind of get a good sense about what they're probably going to do for their opening. But with Terran, it's like, oh, I could do this, or I could switch this building with this building, or I could build an add-on and then switch this and that. There's a lot of different options in Terran right now.
Yep, that is for sure.
That's why it's such a cool mirror matchup.
MVP getting his depot down 15 seconds later than Bomber.
Oh, that's huge! No, not really that huge.
Not that huge.
Oh, that might be huge. A little bit of hidden factory. Ooh. That could become important.
Hidden factory, and actually both players doing the same thing. Both players
out of the way.
Hiding a factory kind of out of the way.
Oh, SCV's like, excuse me. Oh, he doesn't get away. Couldn't parkour his way over that Marine.
Need some more practice.
Do a handstand. And
you know, that is a dream of mine.
Parkouring?
Yeah, actually, I want to learn to parkour pretty well. I've always wanted to. I've always liked jumping around and stuff. I've always been good at that kind of thing, but it's a dream of mine. And Diggity, another excellent StarCraft 2 caster, by the way.
And parkour enthusiast?
And parkour enthusiast. I don't think he wants to do parkour, but we want to set up a parkour gym.
A parkour gym?
So that people can come and like jump over stuff onto pads and like learn how to parkour.
Like simulated jumping from rooftop to rooftops, only it's like you've got like padded foam at the bottom, so if you fall, it's like the Matrix and you don't die.
Exactly.
Nobody makes it on their first time, Moltrap.
He might make it on his first time.
What does it mean if he makes it?
It means that he gets to pick first who his up and down match group is going to be if Bomber makes it into the... Wins this his first time. Now we do see...
Is Bomber going to be the Neo Terran? We're going to find out. Looks like Banshees for MVP.
Very interesting. And for Bomber.
Yep. Oh.
Both players. Jeez, this
mirror match indeed.
This is the most mirroriest mirror match that I have seen. Just a few supply difference.
Yep.
Bomber actually ahead in supply, but at this point that doesn't necessarily mean anything because, well, actually, yeah, Bomber's actually a little bit ahead. He's now getting his second orbital up earlier as well.
Well, here's something that's kind of interesting. Bomber continued to make SCVs and only built 1 barracks, while MVP decided to build 2 barracks instead.
Ooh,
so MVP actually cutting a few SCVs to get his production buildings up. Now, that's probably okay. But at the same time, if you have 2 bases that fast, it's nice to keep up with the harvesters.
Both players scanning each other right now, and this is crucial. Bomber spotted the factory and the tech lab next to it. Didn't see the starport, but can assume.
Yep.
Whereas MVP scan whiffed and just saw the 2 racks. So a little bit of an intel advantage for Bomber.
There should be like a sad sound if you scan and you don't see anything. Like wah wah. And then you'd be like, oh, I missed the buildings. Banshee's coming out for both players. Probably not going to run into each other just because of the range. Oh, but it looks like MVP is ready. Here comes the Banshee, a Bomber. A little bit of micro, though, is going to clean up these Marines very, very quickly.
Oh, Viking pops out.
Uh-oh.
Turns and begins firing at that, and neither player going for cloak.
Viking for Bomber as well. Both of these players playing so well. The Banshee going down for MVP, and I would assume for Bomber as well. It did. The Vikings living up to their name.
And you know what?
Pillaging those Banshees.
This goes to show, if you did not think Bomber was a top-level player before, this goes to show you how good of a player is, because this is a sign. This is what happens when two players that are top caliber play against each other. They end up having this mirror situation oftentimes because they're so good. They know the optimal thing to do in every situation, and oftentimes, and especially in a mirror, it's the same thing. So to see these guys both doing the same thing, it really indicates their skill level. Now we do see a little bit of a variation. Bomber going for Stim first, and MVP going for Combat Shield first. So we're starting to see a little bit of variation in tech now.
MVP getting a Command Center as well, getting his third Command Center a lot earlier than Bomber.
Oh,
so
indeed.
if he can secure that, that could be pretty big in the economy department. Warren Buffett might get interested in that move. We'll see. So Bomber destroying his destructible rocks. They call them destructible for a reason. Gives Bomber a little bit more room to maneuver his units there.
They can be, in fact, destructed.
That's right.
The opposite of
going
construct.
up as well.
They should have constructible rocks.
Oh, that's a good idea. You could be like,
send your SCVs out there and like
constructible debris. That's kind of like siege tank lines, really are.
Yeah, maybe you could. Maybe after a big battle, when there's a bunch of like dead siege tanks and Hellions on the ground and a Thor, you can go out there and construct debris.
SCVs
put them
could
into a nice
gather
big
scraps.
wall, and then when the Persians come, you can knock the wall on them.
That's right.
And scream over the wall of the dead nerds that you have defeated to get to the finals and slaughter your foes.
MVP is like, my Banshees will blot out the sun, and Bomber's like, then we will stim in the shade. So we'll find out. MVP, I'd say definitely the Xerxes of this match. Absolutely.
Oh man, that was the best joke I've heard like all week.
I'm so happy. Just putting a smile on your face.
All right,
my day,
so they end up getting their third bases up around the same time.
Yep.
If we don't analyze the grammar of that sentence. MVP floating is out, but Bomber building his outside, so because he built it out there, he didn't have to float it out. It's going to be getting there at the same time. And both players just kind of content to sit back and get all their tech. Bomber's now getting siege mode.
Yep.
MVP now getting stim and siege mode.
All right, Bomber's going to have siege mode a little bit slower than MVP. Man, everybody hates destructible debris today.
And I almost said I'm surprised we haven't seen any drops, but then I remember there's Vikings, so that's why they can't really do anything right now.
It does make it a little bit more difficult. MVP is going to spot this army, though, with that Xel'Naga watchtower. He's going to have a good amount of time to get in position. Bomber's stimming a few units to get down there.
MVP sieges up.
The plan is. All right, so here we go. It's the beginning.
The standoff begins.
That's right.
And Bomber's going to go around.
Oh, I like this. Taking the other Xel'Naga tower. So both players pretty much know where they are. Bomber's army, a little bit small, a little bit far away from home. Gonna be okay. More destructible debris getting taken out. Finishing off the job that MVP started.
Yep.
That scan was like wah wah.
Both players almost identical in army composition, except Bomber has 20 extra Marines.
But that helps.
Like almost literally the same amount of everything, except Bomber has extra SCVs and extra Marines. So Bomber is actually significantly ahead. He has 40 supply up on MVP right now.
Yeah, and you go back to where MVP was cutting SCVs earlier and then took an earlier third expansion. I think the combination of those two things kind of let Bomber pull ahead.
Bomber is actually out-macroing the Game Genie Terran right now.
Yeah, this is actually amazing.
This is a little ludicrous. Now, that was the situation in their GSTL match.
It was for quite a while,
when MVP said Super Saiyan mode on and screamed and his hair turned yellow and he just won anyway.
I've seen him do that a couple other times, too.
Yeah. You know, I was thinking about it. MVP has improved since his up and down matches. He is like a Saiyan. You know, Saiyans, when you defeat them, once they heal up, if they haven't died, they're more powerful than before. And Bomber's putting some pressure on MVP here.
Oh, here comes Bomber moving the tanks in. He's got a ton of Marines. Bomber's stimming in, spreading the Marines really nicely to avoid the siege tank fire. But then is it going to be enough? I don't know.
Marines getting slaughtered by MVP's tanks, but the tanks of Bomber on the high ground, blowing them up.
Oh, and more Marines.
An even trade, but Bomber ahead in the beginning, comes out ahead in the end of that battle. Oh, and he's going to drop Nope, it's not gonna drop.
MVP's third base is in jeopardy, and I'm not talking about the game show Moltrap.
Yeah, MVP's third base is not good at answering trivia questions.
Much
better at
gameplay.
Much better at mining minerals for MVP to use.
Yeah. A lot of mining time lost there.
Yeah, definitely. And now he's just landed again. He's getting his SCVs back there. MVP still down 20 supply. Looks like he's going into boss mode, starting to catch up a little bit, but he's still behind at the moment. And Bomber taking a fourth base.
Yeah.
He's ahead, and he's getting more ahead, Doa.
This is actually similar even to that GSTL match, only the difference is that at this point in the GSTL match, Bomber tried to get really aggressive.
Yeah.
And MVP was able to hold it off and regain the lead. This time around, Bomber's aggressive, however, he's also taking more bases. And so I think Bomber's been spending a little bit of time in that room. Oh, losing that tank though. You know the room where you go in and you train for like an hour, but it's like a year and you come out. You're like all strong and stuff.
Yeah. MVP has a computer that has 100 times the weight of the Earth.
His mouse is like 80 pounds.
That's right. His mouse is like 80 pounds.
It's like, oh yeah.
He has to use a sledgehammer to pound the key.
That's
One
right.
crack. A crack.
Slayer's Boxer's pen cap in his keypad is actually 500 tons. It's like, it's nothing. It's the Emperor.
MVP scans and sees this group of tanks and knows that the army's
here
out of
comes a
position.
drop.
He flies a drop into the main, right on those production facilities.
Oh, MVP's so smart, but here comes Bomber with
Bomber's
some
prepared.
T-Tanks. He's going to have to shoot his own buildings. A little bit, maybe not.
Oh, is he gonna get the medevac?
Oh, so
Whoa!
close. A lot of SCVs at that mineral line. Wow, another drop. Getting spotted by Bomber. That Marine gave his life valiantly, and another drop. One medevac goes down. The second medevac goes down. Bomber handling that drop very nicely.
And almost no workers lost in that
Yeah.
whole engagement. So,
It's so
Bomber
well.
coming out ahead again. Bomber, ladies and gentlemen, Bomber is maxed out. He's at 192 supply. MVP at only 175. And MVP a base behind. Bomber is winning game 2.
He is right now for sure. I mean, he's way ahead. He needs to play very careful. He's maxed. His opponent is still about 20 supply behind. Here comes Bomber though. MVP's army not looking too
He might pick off
intimidating.
those Vikings.
Oh, careful! MVP losing about half his Marines there. The upgrades for Bomber are so good right now as well. And here he comes. He's
Go
just
in.
going to move right in. Is it going to be enough? He's losing a lot of Marines, but so many siege tanks.
MVP's forces a little out of position, aren't able to protect these tanks. He goes in. Bomber loses a lot of his own Marines, but picks off several medevacs with those Vikings.
Oh, another drop from MVP though at the main base of Bomber. Taking out a lot of units at that natural expansion. What does Bomber have to respond? Not much, because all the army is down at the middle of the map. A couple tanks coming in right now, but that's not going to be enough. Got to be very, very
Wow.
careful.
And Bomber actually falling apart a little bit here. This is how he lost the game against Ryung. It was just, well, actually, no, that was. Sorry,
Oh,
this is
the
how
command
MVP lost
center
game.
being
Oh,
repaired. Oh, he barely saves it. This
That-
game is intense, Moltrap.
This is so intense, and that is how you lose a TVT that you're ahead, is by making those little mistakes, having your army out of position.
Yeah. If there's anyone that can come back, it's certainly I'm MVP.
Yep. They're even in supply now, but
Yeah.
Bomber's banking 2,000 minerals.
MVP moving out. Bomber sees him move. Moves in. He knows there's not a lot of units there.
And MVP coming in from the left side as well,
Oh no. It's a trap.
taking out the reinforcements.
Oh, Bomber handling that army quite nicely. MVP maybe just trying to go for a base trade.
This is insane.
This is madness.
This is
Kravar.
This is StarCraft 2. No, this game is ridiculous. It is going crazy. Bomber has his fourth base up and running right now. So even though he has less harvesters, actually, Holdout thought he might not have that fourth base. Looks like he will keep it, actually.
Emergency defense mode activated.
Wow. So MVP's army, about half of his army, is kind of stranded in the middle of the map. They are sieged up, so they've got a good spot there, but they're kind of out on their own.
Yeah, out on their own. Not a care in the world. They've got their little sticks with like the polka dot sack in the back.
Now, Bomber is staying ahead on the upgrades, by the way, so that might be why he's winning these Marine versus Marine battles.
+3 weapons is going to get finished a little bit sooner for MVP, but that would be like really the first upgrade.
But right now,
it's a fight.
Oh, he's stimming up the hill into Siege Tanks. This could be bad for Bomber.
Oh, not a good engagement for Bomber at all.
And MVP takes the lead in supply.
Bomber still has the air advantage, though. Oh, not for long. He's got to be very, very careful not to lose those Vikings. Those are essential.
And you know, this is the kind of thing that I criticized Bomber for in his games against Ryung. He still won that first game against Ryung because he was so much better, but you cannot stim your army up and lose it against Siege Tanks against MVP. He will not let you get away with that.
Attacking upper ramp in a TVT is basically kind of like saying, hey, I didn't like my Marines anyway, go ahead and have them.
Yeah, into Siege Tanks, not a good idea.
Yep.
Even if it's down a ramp, it's not a good idea to attack into Siege Tanks.
Now, although MVP has a slight, no, never mind, they're even right now. Both players so even. Oh, there's a drop. Bomber does see it, though.
Oh, nice.
He's going to be ready.
Vikings on the way.
Vikings coming out. Oh, they might be able to pick off a medevac. Going for the weaker one. Bomber is so good. A whole medevac dying.
Oh, gets 2 medevacs.
Oh, he's going to lose the entire
the
drop.
Whoa!
Bomber. So crazy. All Marines coming into the 4th base of Bomber, though. Going after the Siege Tanks, but he's able to defend.
MVP taking advantage of that situation where Bomber was out of position attacking the drop going in, but Bomber took out 3 medevacs full of Marines with virtually no losses. He is now back 30 supply head and scans and drops mule bombs.
Oh, beautiful,
on
beautiful
MVP
play.
as he stims his main army into the middle of the map.
Oh,
he could
so
take
good.
out, he could obliterate. He is destroying MVP's army outright, taking a 60 supply lead over the Game Genie Terran.
Startail Bomber. I cannot believe it. This is one of the best TVTs I have ever seen, Moltrap.
I told you.
Oh, he's going after the planetary. He's got enough Marines. The SCVs can't repair in time.
And the SCVs are going to go down as well. MVP desperately trying to stim up the middle of the map to do some counter damage, but I don't think he has enough forces to make it actually work. Yeah, look at this.
Wow, Bomber.
Bomber's reinforcements
everywhere. GG!
Bomber taking game 2.
That's right.
Coming back.
Bomber, what is your profession? War!
Wow.
That's right.
And he has got to be, even though he doesn't really look it, he's got to be happy about that game.
I think we should call him the Leonidas Terran. Calling it right now.
Oh, man. That was...
Man.
I told you.
You know?
I told everyone. I said at the beginning of the match, some of you didn't believe me, that it was just going to be awesome and epic.
Yeah.
But now you know. I was right.
He was right. Talk about nerd chills, man. I mean, that's one of those things where you hear people talking about nerd chills, and you're like, oh, I don't know if that really happens. It happens. It happens, that game. If you really were watching, wow.
And you know what is the best thing?
It's only game 2.
There are 3 more games left in this series. It is not too late to go hashtag the GSL.
That's right. I'll
go
clap
on
like an idiot. I'm
Facebook
so
and tell
happy.
your mom that she needs to watch this Terran versus Terran.
She does. What else could she be doing that would possibly be more important?
I mean, what better Mother's Day gift can you give than an early gift of Terran versus Terran StarCraft 2?
Yeah.
A couple audience members nodding their heads over here. They know what's up.
It's very true. You can be like, Mom, I want to show you that I love you, and I'm going to do that by having you watch Startail Bomber and I'm MVP. 2 of the best Terrans in StarCraft 2 play against each other in a best of 7.
Yeah.
I can't think of any better way to express your love for your mother.
That's love.
It's true.
That's love right there.
Thanks for bringing me into this world, Mom.
Also,
here is TVT.
Also a good way to impress the ladies.
Yeah, if you got a girlfriend,
you know,
want to
tell
score
them,
some
hey,
extra points.
I got something to show you.
That's right.
It's Startail
Hey,
Bomber versus MVP.
Check out my StarCraft stream. Ooh. Oh, yeah. You know you like it.
Indeed. Game 3 is going to be getting underway very soon. It's going to be on Terminus RE.
Yeah.
Popularly called Terminus RE for short.
Or really excellent.
That's what RE probably stands for.
That's right.
I'm imagining. That would be the large map with all the numbers on the ramps. We're going to see who's going to win Game 3.